Do you ever feel like giving up? Sometimes that's okay. We can't sustain over the long term unless we know when to push real hard, when to pull, and when to just sometimes let go a little bit. A successful trajectory is not always a straight line. I've shared recently, I've been struggling with back pain, struggling. And the worst part of the day is the first 2 hours of the day while I wait for the ibuprofen to kick in. I can't concentrate, I can't think straight, and here's the really big problem about that. The first 2 hours of the day are my magic time. They are my most productive times when I'm working on what's most important in my business. What's most important to move my big goals forward. In this case right now, it's writing my book and editing my book. So that means this 2 hour period of time it's gone. I've lost this productivity. And during the rest of the day, I think I'm operating at about 60 or 70% of typical productivity. And I've pushed and I've pulled to try to figure this moment in time out. And next week I'm getting a steroid shot. It should make me feel a little bit better. I'm hoping this is a shorter term issue. So for now, I've let go a little bit. And I'll tell you, I've learned a couple of lessons. Number one, make sure you surround yourself with people who require that you stay accountable to your vision, your mission, and your dreams. In just this last week, I've had my health and wellness coach, who happens to be in Spain, reach out to me a couple of times to make sure I'm staying on target with my eating plan. Now, I'll be really transparent. What I told him was, I don't give a you-know-what about what I'm eating. He caught me in a moment where I was struggling with my mental attitude, where I just needed to eat anything to make me feel different. I was using food, if you will, as a way to just feel different for a moment. And having someone that I'm accountable to reach out to me and ask me about my food was so useful, because we can tell ourselves lies. My lie was, it doesn't matter what I can eat right now. I can't work out right now. What's the use? Give up. But he reminded me that a lot of my pain is coming most likely from some inflammation. And that if I choose to eat poorly, that inflammation will get worse and my pain will get worse. So it's good to have a great coach. The other person that reached out to me this week was my writing coach, Christine Whitmarsh. And Christine reached out and asked me today, hey, are we going to get on a call next week? What are we going to do? Because I know you're struggling, but I also know you have a book that we need to get published this year to stay on track with your goals. So having people that we're accountable to is so critical. And also know when to give yourself grace. So yes, I'm trying to stay on target with eating better, with continuing to edit my book, but I also realize, you know what, I'm going to slow down this week, and next week's going to be a little slow as well, and that's okay. We can't go at 125 miles an hour all the time. So when we have struggles, it's good to look at maybe what those struggles are teaching us. I've got one more struggle happening right now. I've had some difficulties. We've discovered some holes in the training of my horse. And when he was very young, apparently, they didn't take care of some basic training fundamentals. And we're starting to discover them now as we're asking more of him. And so in my lessons riding my horse, I'm having to take a completely different approach. We've really stripped down everything to its bare essence. And we're learning that my horse knows how to push my buttons. A little bit like kids can push your buttons. And what happens sometimes is that he pushes a button and then I react, and then he pushes a button, and then I react, and we escalate each other. And we either scare each other or we piss each other off, but either way, we're escalating. And so I have to look at what's going on in my life right now with some of these frustrations, and I have to ask, what is it here to teach me? What have I got to learn? And there are a couple of lessons, I think, that I'm learning right now. Be patient. Allow things to happen in their own time. Appreciate that I do not have any control over anything other than myself, and then really not even over myself, because I can't control my back. So learning to let go, learning to be patient, learning to be okay with having very little control. So when we slow down, which is another lesson I'm learning right now, maybe the art of slowing down a bit, we give ourselves a chance to look inside. And we give ourselves a chance to answer bigger questions, to ask bigger questions, and then to answer bigger questions. And right now, for me, that means staying accountable to the people that are outside of me, that I've brought along to help me stay accountable, but also knowing when to push, when to pull, and for me right now, and this is the hardest thing ever, when to let go.